Y'all, I love Kevin Hart so much. This man is a goofball. It'll make sense later.
Public service announcement because I know people may see me out and I don't want you to be alarmed, but I'm in a wheelchair. Yeah. I'm in a wheelchair. Why? Well, because I tried to jump out there and do some young stuff. Tried to go out there and do some young man stuff, and I was told to sit my down.
Y'all, this man is so funny without even trying. Listen, Kevin Hart says he is, and I quote, the dumbest man alive. You're not dumb, Kevin, for landing himself in a wheelchair. As you just saw, I know you're thinking, Kev, what did you do this time? Well, he decided to race former NFL player Stephen Ridley in a 40-yard dash, y'all. Listen, I'm shaking my head. He has muscle tears in his lower abdomen and abductors, and the two are friends, and Ridley is wishing him well and being just a little petty, just a little bit. Listen to this. Ridley said he thought Kevin Hart could handle the sprint since former quarterback Tom Brady ran it in his 40s. Well, I'm just going to state the obvious. Kevin Hart is very athletic, but it's safe to say he is no Tom Brady. I love you though, Kev. Okay, speaking of racing and not ending up in a wheelchair, my favorite video games to play when I was younger were always racing games. I just couldn't wait to drive, y'all. I was obsessed with it. I thought it would be so much fun. And now I can't wait to make enough money to pay for a driver. You know, y'all can have it. Well, a new movie is set to hit theaters, and it's based on the true story of a black man who went from console to the racetrack. Listen, I love seeing black people of all nationalities enter sports that you normally wouldn't see us in. The Advocate Channel's David Daniel has more.
Listen, son. You think you're gonna play a stupid video game about cars and you're gonna become a race car driver?
All I ever wanted to do is be a racer. I'm doing it.
Gran Turismo is based on the true story of Jan Mardenborough, who actually went from the console to the racetrack.
I've raced this track 1,000 times in the game. Let me drive it my way.
That was actually pretty great.
Before Archie Madekwe could play the role, he had to learn to drive.
There was obviously an added pressure, the real driving, because there was a real time restraint. I had to learn in 2 weeks, or I was told the job might not go my way.
Director Neil Blomkamp had the real Mardenborough do the stunt driving for Jan.
We're doing these moves at 160 miles an hour. Neil wanted speed as well. There's nothing static in the shot, in the movie. So you have to go fast in order for it to look like you're going fast.
I definitely enjoyed the game a lot more as soon as I jumped back into the car when we got onto the real tracks and we started shooting all of that stuff again. I was like, I can't believe they're letting me do this. This is insane.
That's what it's like being in a racing car. It's not sitting down, just turning your wheel. It's a full attack on your senses.
If I lose more than just a race. So I'm not gonna quit.
Ready to hit the track in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Fun fact, Jan has joined a new diversity racing initiative known as Motorist Formula Team, or MFT. It's all about increasing equality, respect, and diversity across motorsport. Huge shout out to you, Jan. We love to see it. The first Republican presidential debate of the 2024 election season went down Wednesday. And let me tell you something, Trump wasn't even there, but technically he does have other things he needs to really focus on right now, worry about, like going to jail. As a matter of fact, he should be showing up to my city any minute now to turn himself in. But listen, the presidential debate was full of facts and fiction, and 8 GOP candidates duked it out to see who will be the front runner, well, behind Trump. The presidential hopefuls touched on a variety of topics from the economy, climate, abortion, crime, foreign policy, and so much more. Listen, the Advocate Channel's Gloria Penzmino has the recap.
Now, voters are just beginning to pay attention to the presidential race, but they got a taste of what the next several months will look like on the campaign trail. You have political veterans leaning on their name recognition and their experience, and political newcomers, all of them in the shadow of Trump, who skipped the debate and has a commanding lead in the polls.
The race for the White House takes flight.
8 candidates vying for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination taking the stage for the first time.
They are here to lay out their vision for America.
The event was hosted by Fox News in Milwaukee. Heading into Wednesday's debate, the latest poll shows former President Donald Trump with a commanding lead. But on stage, Trump was a no-show. Instead, he sat down for a 45-minute interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, which was released on X, formerly known as Twitter.
I'm going to have all these people screaming at me, shouting questions at me, all of which I love answering, I love doing, but it doesn't make sense to do them. So I've taken a pass.
Despite Trump's absence, candidates made the case for why they should be the Republican nominee. Others took swipes at the former president.
Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt, and our kids are never going to forgive us for this.
Those with the most experience highlighted their records.
We cut taxes in New Jersey. We cut debt in New Jersey.
I led Indiana where we balanced budgets and had a AAA bond rating.
We sold the biggest election landslide victory in the history of the Republican Party in the state of Florida in 2022. That's what I did.
While political newcomers tried to break away from the pack.
I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for.
The candidates will face off in another debate again next month in California. Now, Trump is expected to turn himself in at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta on Thursday, where he is facing charges for his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Georgia. Meanwhile, when asked whether they would support Trump if he should become the Republican nominee or be convicted in a court of law, a majority of the candidates raised their hand. Reporting in Milwaukee, Gloria Pasmino, back to you.
So I was out at a baseball game yesterday and I literally saw someone pass out right in front of me. Right in front of me. It was super scary, okay? Luckily, she's fine. But it's going to be 100 degrees in Georgia this weekend. It is hot, and it's hot across the country. And as everyone is preparing for back to school and young athletes are beginning to practice again, health experts are sending out a warning. Watch out for your young kids because this heat and humidity is especially really hard on them. Okay, so the Africa Channel's Mandy Gaither is back with some tips on how to keep your kids and loved ones safe in this heat. Take a look.
As the temperature rises, so does the danger, especially for young athletes training outside for the upcoming season.
These are potential life-threatening illnesses that, if aren't treated appropriately, can lead to catastrophic dangers.
Heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke can all strike when it's hot out. That's why everyone, from coaches to parents and athletes, needs to be aware of the danger signs, says Dr. Anna Chabra with Mayo Clinic.
People get disoriented, people get dizzy and have weakness, unusual behavior, headaches, vomiting. And so those are some of the signs you see.
Chabra says to also avoid scheduling practices and workouts when it's hottest out. Make sure everyone stays well hydrated before, during, and after practice. Use electrolytes to help rehydrate, but avoid caffeine, alcohol, and sugary drinks that can cause dehydration. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. Have shade and cooling stations, and take it slow.
We want to increase intensity and duration of athletic activities over the course of 7 to 10 days. And that's really important for your bodies to get used to the heat.
Chabra says many times people don't think they need to stretch and warm up when it's hot out, but he says that's how players can get hurt.
So I don't think the weather should change your warm-up routine. So that's something that's completely separate to try to protect our athletes.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Listen, I'm out of here, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm loving this little yellow number I have on. Okay. Listen, see you tomorrow, my amazing people.